Okay. Leila, where are you calling from, Leila?
Hey, I'm from Berlin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Um, so you said how, oh, no, looking for advice as how to market Kundalini activation event in a competitive market such as Berlin. We have a new product for learning traditional Tantra combined with activation, but need at least 15 people for a workshop. Not sure how to get the right people. Okay, I got your back on this. So the first thing is, let me just do a share. I've got a whole ebook on this. And when is the event, by the way?
This is part of the strategic planning for this year, which has not been done yet. Coming.
Okay.
I think point one would be to find the people and then somehow settle on a date.
Yes. Right. So so that's some sort of preliminary ideas on how do you promote an event in general. But there's a specific question here, which is how do you find these people? And so then my question is, who are the people you're trying to reach?
That's a great question. There is sort of a large community that is spiritual, and there are all kinds of groups of this community and all of Facebooks and everything. However, this is very bombed in a city like Berlin. And even when you have something very original, it gets kind of into this big haystack of stuff. Um, and then also a lot of the people in these groups have very low budgets. Uh, However, there would be people that are not inherently spiritual, I suspect, that, just find these topics interesting. I don't really know how to define this group. It's not easily also defined when you kind of look into stuff you have on Meta and online advertising, and it's also not a very easy thing to explain. You have to explain a lot of stuff. It's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
the most,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a challenge. We
Well,
even had, oh, apologies, just to kind of finish the thought, there was even a lady from doing something similar, and she was advertising a freebie. Join my give me, I'll have a raffle for 2 tickets for free. She got 4 comments.
yeah. So here's the challenge. So this is so important for everyone to consider. The reason we often struggle to articulate what we do is we're talking about the boat, right? So there's island A, where our ideal clients are. They want to be on island B, where there's some result. Our business is like a boat that can take them from one island to the other. And the mistake so many people make is just talking about the boat nonstop, right? It's Kundalini. Now, there are some people who are interested in that and will hear Kundalini activation and say, oh my God, this is great. But I think most people will just say, what does she mean by activation? And oh, Kundalini, oh, it's a sex party, or they're just going to have no idea um, what it is, or worse, they're going to have an idea and it won't be the right idea. So
Mhm.
we can do it by the boat. And if there's enough, if you market by selling the boat, selling the modality, then it's a supply and demand thing. If you're in a situation where there's a big demand for that particular boat and not a big supply, you're set. But if there's not a big demand, meaning people aren't like Googling this and looking for this and who in town does this, and there's a big supply, like everybody's doing it, that's trouble. Yeah. So if that's the situation, that's not how you want to market. That's not how you want to go about it. Because this is the other thing that happens is people often uh you got all the yoga teachers and there's a kind of cadre of excuse me, let's say 1,000 people in town who do yoga. And they go to all the classes and all the yoga teachers are fighting over those 1,000 people. And then we even feel bad, like, oh my God, when I promote, I'm taking away from these other teachers because there's only so many students. There's a pie and there's only so many slices of that pie. There's only so much pie to go around. But what that forgets is that we can make more pie. You can make a whole other pie. You could pick a niche that is totally underserved and reach it. You could say, this is yoga for people with anger issues. This is yoga for a very specific crowd. So you can do it in that way too. And so that's one of the first things is to make this shift from thinking about is, am I just selling the boat, or is there a particular journey we want to take a particular group of people around? A city like Berlin is sort of somewhere in the middle between a very small town and the whole internet, right? You got a lot of people there, sizable population. And so you can afford to narrow in a bit more in terms of who you're trying to reach. And the thing I would most recommend is, let's see, here we go. Okay. There's a webinar, and for a lot of you, I would urge you to at least check this out. I've got a webinar around ideal client because most of us haven't. And boy, if you only do one thing this year, if you could just do one thing for most of you, it would be honing who you want to work with, really getting that crystal clear because everything else builds on that. I sort of assume in the pyramid of things that you have the ethics handled as the base. But then the very next thing is the niche. And for a service provider, who you're trying to reach, that's not the only part of your niche, but it's kind of the big one for service providers. And if you don't have that, then your point of view about what? Because the point of view is going to be your point of view about a particular journey from A to B. But if we don't know who it is and what the journey from A to B is, we don't know what to have a point of view about. And then the business model, well, that's all your offers. But offers for whom? And if we don't know who we're trying to reach, then how do we know how to come up with an offer they're going to really respond to? And then the hubs, well, where do you find them? Well, who's them? So for
Exactly.
almost all of you, whether it's me or not, whether you buy this webinar or not, this is an important thing to handle. Particularly when there's a lot of other people out there already doing this. um, or doing things that, because we often think, no, but what I'm doing is totally different, right? But is that clear to the market? Do they know it's different? Because if they don't know it's different, that's the major point. If they look at it and say, oh, it's another one of these hippie events, and there's lots of those. So here's a link to the webinar, which you can also just find on my website under the webinars. The other thing I might recommend is there's something, if you search this on YouTube, you can find I'll just pull it up here, the positioning matrix. If you just Google positioning matrix Tad Hargrave, it's a conversation I had with my colleague Danny Inney. And this is very helpful when you're in a space where there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of other people doing similar things. I would recommend checking that out. So um, let me pause there. That was a lot.
It's okay. I'm not overwhelmed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A lot of work to do, 2025.
Yeah, it's true. The most important thing in terms of filling an event for everyone, and I say this in some of the videos, is just having a plan. Yeah, is because often what happens is it's 3 weeks before the event, and now we're panicking because not enough people have signed up. So the way we avoid that is we really think it through. We make a step-by-step plan, but one of the first steps is who are we wanting to get there? Who do we want in the room? And once we figure that out, now we make the plan to find those particular people. And if we don't know who it is we're trying to reach, now we're in trouble because the whole plan is based on that. The whole plan is based on getting specific people. And it's just not everybody. None of us want to work with everybody. All of us have had people show up to work with us where we're like, oh no. I mean, thanks for the money, but that's about it. They're not a fit. So we want to have as many ideal clients as possible. So good luck. And I'll send you a link to the ebook as soon as I figure out where the hell it went.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for calling in. Okay.